Hey everybody, it's Mrs. Proctor again. Today we're going to do a quick review on chapter 4 so you can work those closure problems today to continue to get ready for our e-learning. So here we go. One of the things that we talked about was scaling in this chapter, was how to enlarge, make something bigger, reduce, make something smaller, but keep the shape the same. So if you do that, it's called being in proportion, right? Use the correct ratio, then you can make this bigger and smaller and still make it look like it's the same thing, just miniaturized or enlarged. So in this problem, Carmen and Dolores wanted to enlarge this triangle. They had a base of 3 and they wanted to make it a base of 12, but they weren't sure what this new height should be. Now, some of you may remember when we worked these problems, we know that this one should be a lot bigger, right? But I don't have enough space in my paper for you to do that and be able to still see the rest of the problem. So because this is a model, I can make it as long as it's bigger than this one and my numbers are correct, that's fine. So if I take a look at going 3 to 12, we have to remember with enlarging and reducing, we're thinking about multiplication, division, multiplication of whole numbers or multiplication of fractions. That also makes it smaller. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So if we take a look here, 3, how do we get to 12 by multiplication? That's times 4. So if we do that to this side, we have to do it to the height here as well. So 8 times 4 is 8 and 8 is 16. 16 and 16 is 32. So that means this has to be 32. And now it's in proportion, and we have the new height for our new triangle. Hopefully that helps you on those problems. These, we started to get into variables, right? What's a variable again? Yep, a letter to be named later, a letter to represent a number to be named later. So with these, they want us to create an algebraic expression that represents, now remember, it's an expression, so it's not going to have an equals. We're not going to solve it. We just want to write with numbers and letters what this represents. So if we take a look here, we've got how many x's? 1, 2. So we would write this as 2x. Again, morning cough, not COVID cough. And we have a 1 that we need to add on there too. So we say plus 1. So the algebraic expression is 2x plus 1. Here's another version where they're all together. And it's the same thing. We can add them up. 1, 2, 3. 3m plus r5. Now, this is a good time to take a look at this to remember that if we see a variable with a number in front of it, it means multiplication, right? 3 times m, because multiplication is a faster way of doing addition. So m plus m plus m is the same as 3 times m. All right. Moving on, we have got evaluating expressions. Okay, so now we actually are going to get a number. We're going to get an answer because it says evaluate it. So we have our number here, 6j minus 3. This is where we get a number value for our variable. We're going to plug it in there. So remember, we want to show every step along the way so you get full credit and you don't make any mistakes. And I know for some of you this is an easier problem, not for everybody, but for some of you. But you cannot just go from here to here because we want to build a good habit now. So when these numbers do get crazy, you have a good plan and you don't make mistakes and you get it right. So we put anywhere we see a J, we put the 4 because that's what its value is now. So I rewrote it as 6 times 4 minus 3. This is also an order of operations problem, right? PEDMAS. We do our multiplication before our subtraction. So then I'm going to rewrite it as 24 minus 3. Excuse me. Hold on a sec. About that. That was my alarm for going off this morning. I was supposed to be getting up. It's 6:30 in the morning, but I actually got up at 5 because my brain thinks it's school. So let's jump right back in. So now I have 24 minus 3, and then I have that equals 21. So that's my answer. So if we're going to work on this one, we do the same thing. So we want to start by rewriting it. We have our 1/2 times our number now, which is 14, plus 5. Now, we talked a little bit about in our enlarging and reducing 1/2 times 14, that's 14 over 2, or 7. We can also think about multiplying by 1/2 is like cutting this number in half. So we get 7. 7 plus 5. And then we have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So our answer is 12. And that makes sense. It should be smaller than this number here because we started by cutting it in half. So that is fine, and that is the answer. And a reminder, show all your steps so you don't make silly mistakes and you can get the answers correct. And if by chance you do make a mistake, you at least get partial credit for showing your work because I know that you know what to do. You just made a little boo-boo. Okay, last but not least, I think, let me take a little sneaky peek. Yep, last but not least is our absolute values. Now, absolute values, we want to remember that these bars right here mean absolute value. It means what is the distance of this number inside it from 0 on a number line. That's why whatever's inside you rewrite as a positive number. So the absolute value of 2 is 2 because it's 2 spaces away from 0 on a number line. 4, the absolute value of 4 is 4 because it's 4 spaces away from 0. The plus sign is in the middle, so that sticks right there. And we have 2 plus 4 equals 6. Again, it says evaluate the expression. So when you see evaluate, that is solving. That is going to give us an answer. So if we go on to the next one, this is the absolute value of -3. It's asking how far away from 0 is -3. It is 3 away from it. It's in the negative direction, but that's not a concern because we just want to know how far away it is. So it comes out a positive number. We still have our plus, and inside is a positive 5, so that doesn't change. So we have 3 plus 5, that equals 8. Okay, the next one, more practice now. Hopefully you're getting the hang of it. The absolute value of -7, how far away from 0 is 7 away from 0. Our plus sign, because it's in between the two. And the absolute value of -1 is a positive 1. It's 1 space away from 0. 7 plus 1 is 8. Now, this is one that really confused a lot of kids. I remember when we had the quiz or the test on this, is because this negative sign is outside our absolute value. So it's going to stay right here because we don't have to consider it inside. So the absolute value is 6. So that comes right out here. Now we have -6 because this negative was outside, right? The opposite of whatever number's in here. So the opposite of a +6, a -6. That'll confuse your parents if they're listening in on this. So there you go. Those are the 4 things that I think can help you on this. If you need more help, please let me know. I would love to hear how you guys are doing. And I will update you in the next day or so about how things are going with the e-learning preparation. So make it a great day. And I do miss you guys, and I will talk to you tomorrow.